Hey people, got a few moments here, so a quick mini project. Here I have a safe deposit lock that was very kindly sent by Apache Locksport. It has no keys, which seems like an awful shame, so my mission is to make some. One for the renter side and one for the guard side. Luckily they are flat keys, so construction should be fairly simple. So what I'm going to be using for material is this brass door hinge. And so after a few quick measurements of the keyway of the lock and a little bit of scratching a rough design into the brass, we're basically ready to move on to the next step. Naturally, the next step is to release our key blank from this piece of brass. So because I'm such a lazy creature, I'm opting to throw a cutting disc into my engraver here. So as you can see, cutting has begun. And so after making a little bit more noise and breaking a couple of cutting discs, we have finally the beginnings of our key blank. Naturally, the sharp edges on this key blank could be a little bit nasty on the skin, so it makes sense to me to take a moment and round those off a little bit and make it look a little more like a normal key. Now our blank needs a little bit of work, apart from a bit of general touching up on the edges to make them smoother and cleaner. It's actually a little too wide to enter into the keyway, so what I'm going to do is carefully thin it back with this flat diamond coated bar here. And after a little bit of work, we end up with something that looks like a key blank. Okay, so this safe deposit lock takes two keys, one for the renter side and one for the guard side. So what I've had to go and do is take some measurements of the guard side and produce a key blank for that side as well. And so after all of that, what we finally end up with are two key blanks that actually fit inside the lock. Not a bad start. And now we need to make sure that this key can actually turn in the lock. So what I've had to do here is put a little notch close to the head of the key to allow it to do. And so finally, after all of that, we are actually on the home stretch and have a key that not only fits in the lock, it actually turns. Now we can think about the bitting. And so just to quickly find out where the wafers are, I've taken each of these key blanks, placed them within their respective keyways, and just jiggled them around backwards and forwards, just enough to allow the levers within the lock to leave some fairly clear impressions on the blank. Okay, somewhat conveniently, we have some observation windows, one here and one here, that allow us to look inside the lock and see the positions of the levers, and in particular allow us to note when the gates are aligned properly. So while on each cut that I make on one of the key blanks, I'm going to be taking careful note of where those levers are, and just proceed carefully and stop when the levers appear to be in the right position. Having done all of that, we finally end up with two keys, one for the renter side and one for the guard side. Not too bad considering what we started with was just a simple brass door hinge. Here we are, back with the lock. The general operation is the guard comes along with the guard key, places it in the lock, turns it to the open position. At that point, the renter can take their renter key, place it within the lock, and presto, they're in. They have their access. The guard can then take out the guard key and leave the person alone to check out their belongings, after which they can remove their key and go about their day. So that's about enough of that. But the point of the whole exercise was to take this cool lock sent by Apache Locksport and give it some working keys, because I think it deserved that much. So thank you to Apache Locksport again for sending this lock along. I had a little bit of a go at picking it earlier and did quite terribly. But game is not over. I was trying to pick the client side first, and when I got everything in place, then try and pick the guard side. Not as easy as I was thinking it might have been. So, any case, peace and respect, people. I'm out. Do what you do. Enjoy what you do. See you another day.